Seeds that travel or disperse by the wind must be lightweight, and they come in lots of different varieties. Some seeds look like helicopters, and that helps them to travel farther away in the wind. The tree that you're probably most familiar with that has the helicopter seed pods is the red maple. See the beautiful red? And so these look like the helicopter seeds. Y'all have probably played with them before. And as I keep mentioning, plants have to produce lots of different seeds in order to have a few survive. Check out this squirrel. It's eating all of the seeds of the red maple. And it looks like a few are falling down. And hopefully maybe a few of those seeds will survive and grow into a big, tall red maple. What about pine trees? What kind of seeds do they have? Believe it or not, they have helicopter-looking seeds too. Let's look way up high in this pine tree. Do you see all the pine cones? The seeds are housed inside the pine cone. Check out how delicate this pine seed is nestled inside the pine cone. Notice how the wind carries the pine seed away. Wonder what happened here. We have a pine cone, looks normal. What about this one? Believe it or not, this is a pine cone. What do you think happened? Let's look down here. I wonder if somebody had some dinner. I wonder if any seeds survived. Let's find out. That distinctive leaf identifies it as a tulip poplar. Tulip poplars are one of the tallest trees we have in our park. As you come down the tall trunk, you're gonna see the distinctive seed pod and then all the different seeds. And these seeds are lightweight, so they're going to be dispersed by the wind. Depending on the strength of the wind and the height of the tree, tulip poplar seeds travel on average 100 to 600 feet. Michaela has twirled 100 feet. The seeds may remain alive for 4 to 7 years in the forest floor. How old are you? Yeah, most first graders are 6 to 7 years old. I bet a lot of you are familiar with this tree and these prickly seed pods that kind of make you go ouch if you step on them. This is called sweet gum, and they have these beautiful star-shaped leaves that are very different looking than the red maple. But how do you think these seeds travel or disperse? So as these sweet gum balls are hanging up in the tree far up, birds love to go and they'll land on them and they'll find all the little seeds that are inside. So it's a very tasty treat for birds. Notice how tiny these seeds are. And they have wings. And that's gonna help them be dispersed by, that's right, wind. Some plants have parachutes, and even a slight breeze can pick them up like this, or a ranger can have a lot of fun. These goldenrods are dispersed by wind because their seeds are lightweight and are dispersed like parachutes. Another method that seeds disperse or travel is by water. And probably the most well-known are the traveling, floating coconuts. But we don't have any palm trees that produce coconuts here in South Carolina. You'd have to go on down to Florida into the Caribbean to see that. One tree that we do have here in South Carolina back in the swamps is something called the cypress. And their seed pods are pretty cool, and you can see them here in the video on the cypress tree. We don't have any habitat that supports cypress tree here at Myrtle Beach State Park, but these seeds must float in the water for anywhere from 1 to 3 months. And then the water, they need to find some drier land that still is moist before eventually they will find all the right requirements and grow into a big, huge new cypress tree. Another method that seeds employ is seed explosion. Many of you might have impatiens growing in your yard and their seed pods explode. Let's check it out. Another seed exploding plant is something called the witch hazel, which can be found in the Maritime Forest at Myrtle Beach State Park. And they have seed pods in the fall that will explode, and 4 teeny tiny little seeds will pop out 10 feet away. How far is 10 feet away? Let's find out. 10 feet away from that plant, teeny tiny seeds. Can you imagine how far away that is? How cool is that? Before we leave the Maritime Forest and head to the beach, let's talk about the differences in the two habitats. Does the beach or the Maritime Forest have more trees? Do you think the beach or the Maritime Forest has more shade? The forest is going to have more shade because there's more trees in the forest. Which habitat typically has more wind, the beach or the Maritime Forest? Looking up today, there doesn't seem like there's much wind in the forest. Usually, there's going to be more wind at the beach because there's less trees blocking the wind. Does the beach or the Maritime Forest have more variety of plants? Which habitat has soil better suited for seed survival? If I remove this leaf litter, do you think there's more minerals and nutrients in this soil here in the Maritime Forest or down at the beach with the salty sand? I would think more seeds are going to survive here in the Maritime Forest. We're going to head to the beach now, and we're going to walk through all the habitats at Myrtle Beach State Park. At the pond, walking through the freshwater wetland, leaving the Maritime Forest, through the Maritime Grassland, and we are now at the beach. Do you see many types of plants? Lots of trees? I mainly only see a plant called sea oaks. They're gorgeous though, aren't they? So what do you think would happen if a pine seed flew in from the Maritime Forest and landed on this beach? Or if a bird took a nut or an acorn or all these red berries and dropped them on the beach? Would they survive? Well, lots of space, plenty of clean air, there's lots of sun, but is there too much sun? And look at all that water. The Atlantic Ocean has a lot of water, but it's pretty salty, right? And what about the soil? It's sand here at the beach, right? Are there enough minerals and nutrients in the salty sand for seeds to survive? The fact is, it's a very short walk from the Maritime Forest down here to the beach. But the majority of seeds will never make it in this very harsh habitat. We hope you enjoyed learning about the variety of habitats at Myrtle Beach State Park and the amazing way seeds disperse.